everybody. How are you today? It's a rare opportunity. I have the house to myself. I thought I would come and say hi to you. My name is Jay. Welcome to Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews. Where have I been? I've been hiding. Have I been hiding? Well, I can't believe we're in autumn already. This year has flown by. I'm sorry I haven't really been around much this year. I had all these grand plans. I was in the right, zone, and life just sort of took a tumble, if you like, as it does. Just got in from getting myself a coffee. So I think I will take my beanie off. This is the Ricky hat, if anyone's wondering, which I knit quite some time ago now. It's probably in one of my videos from way back when. Anyway, I'm a knitter, sewer, crocheter, crafter, cat lover, cat mother, neurospicy, 42-year-old from Sydney, Australia. I live in a place called Penrith. I live at home with my mother and my 2 cats. And I come on to YouTube to chat to you all about knitting and sewing and all of my projects and a little life, sometimes a little book talk. And yeah, I normally am quite frequent with my videos, but this year has taken a few tumbles. So if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I've just been out to get myself a coffee from Full Dose, which is a cafe that is in a place where I grew up called Cambridge Park. And Pierre, thank you Pierre, does really good coffee. And I'm a barista. I work in a hotel. So if I think that Pierre's coffee is good, you're on a winner. So if you are local, go and check it out. Although I think most of you are overseas, so don't think that's going to happen. So I just thought that I would come on here today because A, I have a moment, and B, I'm in the right. Am I in the right headspace? Well, I must be because I'm here. So, yeah. I do look a bit sad. Maybe that's coming through. Maybe it's not. I think it is because I just cried patting a dog in the cafe. There's lots going on this end. Anyway, I digress. So since I spoke to you last, I was in the middle of a few projects and I still am, but I have made some progress on some of those projects. I've started some new projects. I'm in the middle of quite a few things at the moment. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sewing projects. One is not started yet, but I can talk about it. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 knitting projects. 2 of 4. Oh, I must have 5 knitting projects. Yes, I have 5. 2 of 4, 2 of 5, finished or almost finished. And when I say almost finished, there's just sort of the finishings to go on them. So I thought I'd come and say hi for a little while. So let's get the life updates out of the way first, some of which are quite heavy. But I wanted to come and share where I've been, why I have not been in the right headspace, and why I have been absent, because I have been. And those of you that do follow me on Instagram, because I know there are a few of you, will see that I put some updates over there to keep people in the loop so that everyone knows what's happening with my projects and my life. So if you don't follow me over there, go and have a look, because I'm always putting things in my story, and I'm putting the odd post up here and there. Especially although there is a community element to YouTube, I've had a look and nobody sees it, so I don't generally keep that up. So life, so you know, from the beginning of the year there's been lots of things going on with my dad's health and my cat's health, and it's been tough. It's been a tough year. There's some exciting bits, you know, such as I have an overseas trip planned this year. I'm going to the UK for 8 weeks from August till October, and I have got my flights booked and my accommodation mostly sorted and my timeline's mostly sorted, and the only thing left really to do is to sort out how I'm getting about. So like train travel journeys, plane journeys, etc, etc. I've made a few wish lists here and there. My main reason for going is to have a holiday. My second main reason to go is to spend a bit of time with my family. And, you know, all the in-between stuff. I'm going for 8 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it. But unfortunately, everything has been a bit clouded with my cat. So, some sad news. I don't know if I can talk about it, so maybe I will talk about all my crafty projects and put that in at the end. I think I'll do that. He's not very well, and it's not the best news in the world. So let's move on. And how are you all doing? I've been watching a few of your podcasts lately, every now and then. Life got really busy for me this year. I'm working 2 jobs. I've started working in this really lovely Sicilian restaurant a couple of nights a week. And when you walk in, the walls are like a mushroomy pink color. It feels like you're in your nonna's house. There is lace tablecloths and doilies. There's like religious pictures and pictures of Sicily, and the place has just got a really great vibe to it. And yeah, I've been working there a couple of nights a week, and it's just such a lovely place to work. And my manager, Ross, he's the owner and manager and chef, he gave me a giant pile of vintage napkins. They are in my car, and it's raining, but they are square, and although predominantly plain, they've got some either edging or corners to give it a bit of interest. And we've had a bit of a chat, and knowing that I like collecting vintage fabrics and collecting bits and pieces and sewing and making quilts and bags, which there's another thing I've finished, some bags, and I have them up for sale in my shop if anyone is interested. And yeah, so he has given me a pile of these lovely cream napkins from his mother's house. And yeah, between the two of us, we're working on a plan to make some curtains for the private dining room for the restaurant. So that's a little project that I need to find some headspace for. I mean, the beauty of crafting is that no matter what's going on, even though sometimes you may not have as much vigor, it's a good way to heal from the things that we're going through, right? And keeping with my I'm slowing down in 2026 theme, well, you know, I am, and I don't do craft 24/7. I don't do it all day, every day. I hold down 2 jobs. I get very tired from those jobs. I come home, I'm not really feeling the buzz and the energy. And I have Tuesday fully off every week, and the last couple of Tuesdays have been filled with appointments. In fact, I do have appointments today, but not just yet. So there's that project, and I'm looking forward to how that's going to evolve. I need to take some measurements in the doorway of the private dining room, and it's going to be quite simple. I'm going to probably just sew them together, and have a channel up the top for a pole or a wire. And I think I'll put a few doilies perhaps on them. I don't want them too busy because the restaurant already has a lot in it, but just making use of the material that we already have, upcycling something that, you know, is very meaningful and important, and to add to that vibe, and it will just give a little point of interest and the ability to shut the curtains should anyone require the private dining room to be fully private. I don't know how that will work running plates in and out of, but I'm sure we can work that out. So there's that. Now, I'm just going to have a little more of my coffee. So I don't know where to start, so I'll start with just the thing that's on the top of the pile at the moment. So a little while back, I'm not sure if I've talked about this, my mum and I went away and we stopped in a place that had this charity shop, and we were going through it, and I found a bag of materials that were already sort of sorted and matched up to each other. There was a few, I think, cut out, if I recall. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Sorry, there's a lot of ums today. Bear with me. There's another one. Bits of material, floral material, pretty material, and my goal was to make a quilt out of it. And so I came back and I made a quilt top, which I will show you. And then there's an enormous amount left over, bits of scraps, bits of this. Now, I have been really interested into slow making, and I've been wanting to learn and do different techniques. And the Japanese technique is I want to say sashimi, but that's fish. I'm going to put the word here because it's not going to come to me right now. But it's basically the art of slow stitching. Now, I have a table runner, plain table runner. I'm pretty sure I've got footage, if not photos. I'll pop some in. And what I've done is I've laid the table runner down and I've got little bits of scraps and I've placed them over the top of it. In fact, I may not have filmed it because I wanted to do something just in the moment where I wasn't having to think about filming, because sometimes it's quite nice just to have something for yourself. So then this is got cat hair all over it because it's being used as a cat bed at the moment in between. So I laid all the materials down. Here we are. And I just got some cotton and did a slow stitch to tack all the way through the material so that it doesn't fall off. So the big tacking stitches is what I'm referring to at the moment. And I've put it into a ring because now I am doing some stitching along each edge just by hand, so it's going to take quite a while. And I'll just pull it back a little bit. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make of it yet. I have no plan for an end result, and I quite like that. It's just for me to practice hand stitching, learn a few new techniques, and do something a little bit different, not on the machine, and using up some scraps. And I think the materials are just so pretty. It's hard to show you because it's in the ring, but I will put a photo in here. But it's just, yeah, I thought, you know, maybe it could become a bag, maybe it become a wall hanging, maybe it becomes a case for needles. I really don't know. It will be what it evolves into being. That's the real answer. So now where am I going to put that? Let me put that over here. Try not to get it in the cat bowls. And I've been really enjoying that. I'm using some cottons, this lovely pink, a light green, and a cream. And I've been watching a few techniques on different stitches. Whether or not I use them all is another story. I just had an alert telling me to drink water. Sorry for the wobble. Stay still. That distracted me. Anyway. Right. I won't drink water, but I will have a sip of my coffee. I'll have my water after. In fact, I'm going to finish this because it's getting cold. Pop that up there. All right, so it will be a little disjointed today, I think. We'll come back to that. No, it won't be. I'll stick to the plan. When I came on here last, perhaps I was in the middle of. Certainly I had started. I'm doing a Bilbo vest. The pattern is by Thread and Yarn. Let me just grab it out. So this is called the Bilbo vest, which I have since learnt by trying to have a look and see if there are any videos around, that this is a Lord of the Rings thing, but I'm not a Lord of the Rings person. But this is the Bilbo vest by Thread and Yarn. The pattern is, there's 3 different options. One for a tie, buttons and buttons with pockets lined. I'm doing view A as far as I know. It's quilted, it's cropped. Well, it's actually not totally true because I have added extra length to mine. So what I did, I had a quilt that I had a quilt that I put together. I had finished the top layer. I had already put the sandwich layers and I had started to do the stitch in the ditch. I'm going to stop this video and you won't know, but I'll know, because I've had a bit of issue with space on here. Now I have cleared it, but just I don't want to be cut off. So give me 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. You know, nothing different. Whoop, except for a wobble. Sorry about the wobble. I need a new stand, I think, for my filming. I have digressed, but yeah, part of the reason I haven't filmed as well is because I have had no storage on my phone to do so. And the only way, and Sam, if you're watching, because I know you've been having this problem. Sam? Not Sam. Sam is in England. My friend in Canada, whose name is escaping me, I'm so sorry. But I know you'll be watching. And I know that you've been having storage issues. And I'm not being rude, my head is just really full right now. and names are escaping me. Please forgive me. It's going to bother me. My brain's going to try and figure it out. But anyway, park. It's okay. Storage. I basically went into my computer and I saved the original unmodified file from iPhoto of all my videos, and I put them onto my computer. Once they were on my computer, I then made a copy and put them on my external hard drive. And I'm talking somewhat 800-900 videos. So today's video, I am confident is not going to cut out halfway through, but I thought I would just make sure I don't take the risk. And then I deleted them from iPhoto. And that's cleared a significant amount. And I'm going to continue to do that with my photos. But I'm also trying to sort through my photos. I have 32,000 photos on my phone. And a lot of those are, you know, from over the years, traveling, this, that, and the other. But a lot of those are work related or screenshots or, you know, and we all are digital hoarders. But I would like to get it to a point that it's organized, and it's going to take quite some time, but this is where we're at. So back to the Bilbo vest, and I hope that little tip is helpful, and I apologize, really, my mind is trying to think, but it's just full of other things at the moment. So yeah, please forgive me. Julie, is that it? I think it's Julie. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think it's Julie. Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I need to get myself out of said rabbit hole. So I made this quilt top quite some time ago. Like a long time ago, years ago. And it's been sitting there, and I'm not doing anything with it. And then this Bilbo vest comes along, and I thought, well, I might make that into the vest. So that's what I've done. I have not finished yet. I'm still in the middle of it, but and I will put some footage in of me making it. But this is where we're at so far. It's starting to look like a vest. This is the back, and it is reversible. So in true style of me at the moment and my obsessions, I've done the lining, the cream, and then I have a lovely doily on the back. So I will pop that on so you can have an idea. It's got to have the edging put on, and then it will have some ties, and you close it up like this, and then it's reversible. And because I had already made the quilt and there was like lots of raw edges, I've just simply sewn, I'm not sure if you can see it very well. So over here, I've sewn some material, extra material over the top to encase and enclose these raw edges. And the good thing about doing that, as you can see, that's the shoulder, is it's also given it this extra reinforcement structure, and so the shoulders sit quite nicely. So I've got my binding ready to go, and I will put a bit more footage in just of some of the making progress, because it's a bit hard to see what's happening because it's not finished yet. But I think that's going to be quite nice, and I really would like to get on with that because we are in autumn now, coming into winter. And it would be nice to be wearing it, right? So everything's prepped, ready for the edging now. I don't think I'm going to put a pocket on it. The only thing that concerns me is it's quite boxy, and that's how it's designed to be. But I can't decide whether to taper it in a bit more, and I might end up doing that actually. And I'm really enjoying working on that project actually, and it's almost finished actually. Actually, how many times can you say actually in a sentence? See this little pumpkin here? I grew that. It's nowhere near mature enough to eat. Unfortunately, it got snapped off, but it's a nice little display pumpkin. The next part of the project is sewing is quite big, and I need to move the camera back. So I'm going to talk about knitting now, and then I'm going to come back to that last because it requires more space if I'm going to show it in its full glory. All right. I don't know whether you can hear that lawnmower or not. I can. I'm going to pause you and I'm going to shut the door so that it doesn't come through onto the camera. So I do look a little washed out today. I'm going to cut that bit out. I do look a little washed out today. I don't have any makeup on. I've been opting to not wear makeup for the last week. Sorry, I think I just choked a little. For a couple of reasons. One, because I keep crying every 5 minutes and there would be no point to have makeup on. And two, I've been breaking out a lot. And so I've just been trying to give my skin a chance to air. And so I do look a little pale, but that's okay. We're all human here, and you guys, you're gonna love me anyway, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. And we all get brainwashed into thinking that it's not okay to be natural, and it actually is. So I'm gonna embrace and show up anyway. So I finally, with the help of my mother, finished my Christmas socks. Now, I can only show you one of them today because I have looked in the bed, under the bed, I've looked in boxes, I've looked everywhere. Normally, this time of year, I go to bed in socks, I wake up, and by the end of the week, there's a giant pile of socks in and under the quilt. Now, I have looked high and low for his friend, and I don't know where he is. So I know after this video I'll find him, but at the moment I can't. So there are two. There is a good picture on my Instagram profile of them both together. Now, do they look the same? No, they don't. Do they have a lot of mistakes in them? Yes, they do. I lost the will to carry on with them and employed my mum to help. So one of them is slightly bigger than the other because she has a different gauge to me. But also, I think something went terribly wrong because one of the heels is significantly larger than the other one. I don't know how. I've counted, I've looked. But as we know, and as you all know that have been here before, and it is Julie. I can tell it's Julie in my head. My head is saying Julie, Julie, Julie. And yeah, they don't look at all the same. But this was the original one with the correct back rib, whereas the second sock, I didn't follow the pattern correctly. And I didn't want to pull it out and I couldn't be bothered and I just kept going. And they're nice and warm and cozy. This is the Gilbert pattern by the kitchen sink shop. The pattern was difficult. My mum is an experienced knitter who also found it difficult. And perhaps that's why I lost the will to live. But they're finished. They are finished. There's a picture up on Instagram. They are good around the house bed socks. Will I make them again? Definitely not. I also have finished another pair of socks, which when I say finished, they just need kitchen a stitch. So this yarn was bought when I went to England 2 years ago. I was with my best friend in England and she was with me. We were at Wensleydale Wool Shop, which no longer exists. And I bought this lovely wool and thinking it was from the UK. And in actual fact, it came from India. But it's the softest wool and it's so pretty. And these are the socks. They're a large size. She has a larger foot. There's the second one. They are still on the needles, but they are finished. They just need the kitchen a stitch done. And it's just my favorite vanilla sock. It's my go-to sock. It's what I'm comfortable with. And after this fiasco, I think me and vanilla socks are friends. Me and pattern socks are not. Doesn't mean I won't ever do pattern socks again, but it's not my, I like the sock. It can be taken everywhere. It can be knitted on when you're just not thinking about things. It's a good little escapism. It's a great gift knit. It's handy to take on trains, planes, buses. You can do some in your work lunch break. If it is vanilla. If it is not vanilla, it turns out like this disaster over here. So they're good. They've just got to be kitchen stitched and then they're ready for me to take on a plane to the UK and give them to my bestie so that she can have cozy feet. What else have I got? So even though I said I wasn't going to cast on anything else this year until I have finished everything, well, I lied because I needed a project to take to a lunch that I went to with a new friend and a close friend, and I wanted something to take with me to fidget with, and so I cast on another sock. Surprise, surprise. Now this is also my favorite vanilla sock, but I've been watching Stitched by Mrs. D, which I know all of you will have as well, and she really inspired me to do some Shorty socks. And so this is the start of a Shorty sock. And the wool is lovely. It is fledgling 4-ply sock, 75% merino, 25% nylon. It's called Scones with Jam and Cream. And it comes from 3 Trees Fibre Crafts. And I got this for my birthday or Christmas a couple of years ago. And it's just lovely. And so I've got that on the go because I always have to have a pair of socks that I can just take anywhere with me so that I can knit wherever I go. Even if it's just a few lines here and there, it's always nice to have something that's, look, small enough. My best friend Amy in Australia, her mum made this little bag for me one Christmas, and it's so cute and it's perfect for these little small socks. And this project bag, my friend Julie, lovely Julie, she gave this to me too. So these are actually quite handy. When I make drawstring bags, and I like the drawstring bags, but actually I do like a good zippered pouch, so I might make some of those and sell them as well. I'm starting to talk too fast, so I need to slow it down. Pause. Breathe. I got this really cool new fidget toy. You can squish it. It's got some like beads inside of it that you can pop. And it's just really lovely to just take around with me. All right, my shawl. Let's go to my shawl. My Advent shawl. I've been working on this since December, and I am up to, what am I up to? Let's see. Whoop, if I can get it out. Let's count. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right, I'm up to day 20 and there's 24 days. So we're on the home stretch. And this is how it's coming along. How am I going to show this to you? Isn't it pretty? Easier said than done. It's coming along nicely. And it's going to look so pretty wrapped around when it's finished. See? Lovely. Lovely. So this is that's a good question. This is an Advent knitted shawl and I've been working on it since December. I've talked about it a lot in my videos. So all the pattern information it'll be in the notes below. And at the moment, off the top of my head, I can't tell you. Wait, I have my iPad here. Whoop. Right, I have Knit Companion. Close, no thanks. Right, so this is, excuse me, the Intangential, Intangential Mystery Shawl Cowl by Renee Strauss. And at the moment, I have 369 stitches on my needles. And I am on the home stretch. And it's lovely and soft. I'm using the Fibre Smith 2024 Advent calendar for that. I've talked about that at length in other videos, so I'll keep it short and sweet on here. I'm going to also stop the video and start it again to avoid drama. And get this knitting project. What's in here? Oh no, that's part of this. So I am also doing the Sally Beth. I don't really know what I was in the middle of saying, but I do know that I was talking about pausing my video so that it wouldn't cut out, thinking I had plenty of storage. Guess what? I don't. So scrap everything I said about making loads of room and everything being fabulous and fantastic, because 4 videos in and it said your iPhone storage is too full. So I still have a little while to go to see if I can do what I suggested and keep downloading those photos and deleting them out of iPhoto. I have a couple of months before I travel, and so I can continue that journey. In the meantime, I have just airdropped all the videos to my computer and then backed them up on the hard drive. I deleted them and I've come back to film again to talk to you. So this is going to be an ongoing issue. It's very frustrating. I'm not going to let it rattle me because it's only data and digital, and I'm back and I'm talking to you again. So if my efforts fail me, then I will spend the money and get a new phone. But that's what I'm trying to avoid because they're expensive and basically cost about the same as my airplane travel ticket to and from the UK. Realistically, we live in a world where everything is super expensive. So anyway, I was talking about the Sally vest. I'm not going to deep dive into digital crazy because it stresses me out. So Sally vest by Annabelle Williams. Now I started this a little while back. I haven't made much progress, but I've made a little bit. I've started on the right shoulder. I'm using up lots of scraps to make this, and thus far we have the right shoulder that has been started. That's the back, and at the moment it's looking floppy like this, but I'm matching my stripes up. I'm almost finished that side. I had to pull a few lines back because I made a mistake, and then I shall start on the left. And I'm not doing this very frequently because it requires me to have headspace. It's the first garment it's the second garment, but the first garment is a long story. But I'm going to pull it out. But this is the first garment that I've really done. And so I'm just taking my time with it. My cat's gone a little cray-cray in that other room. The other one's floppy on his bed. And it's just lovely. It's thick, it's lovely. And there's not really much to say because I haven't really done a lot, but that's where we're at with that. So I have decided not to move said camera to show you my quilt. I'm going to put extra footage in, but I don't want the same thing to happen with storage to happen again. It's annoying. This is the binding for my quilt that I'm about to show you. That's ready to go. That's where I'm up to. Everything else is done. Again, I've done some new techniques. Flash, what are you doing? I don't know what he's doing in there, but it sounds like a disaster. This is my beautiful, lovely quilt. I will put photos and footage in because it's not huge, but it's a lap quilt. I've sewn all these squares together and added doilies, and the backing is this, which is the same for the edging. And I've used the new technique to bind it together. I tacked it first. I did a lot of tacking, and then I like watching Kate from The Last Homely House, who didn't cry that her goose, Operation Goose, who didn't cry at that video. If you haven't seen it, go. Woo. Sad face, but happy ending. I used a technique that Kate used called knotting, and I've bound it together with this knotting technique. So you tie a little knot, you sew it and stitch it. I'm going to put footage in, it's much easier to explain. They haven't been trimmed yet because it's not finished. I'm not going to do that until the very end. I'm probably going to add some buttons and lovely things on here. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. See if I can do it a bit slowly for you. And it's just a little light lap quilt that's going to be lovely and cozy coming into winter and look really pretty on my bed. I have been reading Jenny Colgan, surprise, surprise. Sorry, it's a really bad angle. I'm starting to get tired now, so I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm reading the Jenny Colgan Rosie Hopkins Sweet Shop series. I'm up to the 3rd book. It's really, really great. I love it. And I've lent the other 2 books to my friend's mum. She's reading it. She's loving it. I have only read a tiny little bit of this 3rd and last final book in the series. And I've had to stop because it's quite triggering. And I'm hoping that I can pick that back up again. But whereas normally I am using these books as a form of escape from the shit that is going on in my everyday life, excuse my French, this chapter I am up to is quite triggering, and if I can just get past it, all will be well in the world. So, thank you for listening to me waffle on, and I don't think it's been disjointed actually. There's been a few pauses here and there, but in actual fact, I feel like it's been quite good. I hope you feel the same. Sometimes when you're filming, in your brain, it feels a lot messier. And when you watch it back, you think, oh, okay, that is actually really good. And all the things that buzz through our heads that you think are going to translate into this video, they don't. So it's an interesting perspective, and it gives me a bit of an insight as to how I might come across to other people in life. And I think that's a nice insight to have, because quite often, and I'm sure you get this too, particularly because I have ADHD, my brain is noisy and busy. And sometimes I think that other people can hear that, and actually nobody can. It's just in our minds. Our minds get busy and the noise can sometimes be quite loud. But from an outsider's perspective, they can't hear that. You know, a lot of the time I talk about the things that are in my head to get them out, or because I think everyone can hear what I'm thinking, but in actual fact, they can't. And neither can you. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back. I hope I can keep the momentum going. I think that I'm not going to sit here and promise I'll be here every fortnight, which is what I would like to be doing. But I certainly will come back and check in and give you some updates, especially with the news I'm about to tell you. So grab your box of tissues. So my cat's been unwell this year, and he's had various blood tests and this and that and the other, and he just isn't himself. And all the blood tests came back, nothing wrong, everything clear. And I said, okay, that's fine, but he's not himself. I know he's not himself. He's not behaving in the same way. I had a list of things that were going on. And so the only step that was to be done was to take him to the specialist. Now, he had a dilated pupil bigger than the other for months. And so everyone was telling me this is a neurological thing. So we booked him in with the neurological specialist and took him there. She assessed him. She said she didn't think it was neurological. And so they passed me on to somebody else who did some more blood tests, you know, another physical, and then we went down the road of having a CT scan. So the CT scan was done 4 days ago. And I was right. He's not well. Really not well. He has multiple tumours, all to do with his hormonal system. I have the letter here because I knew I wouldn't be able to talk about it. So he has a pituitary gland lesion, which is significantly large. He has both adrenal glands enlarged, an enlarged thyroid, tumours on his thyroid, and Cushing's. So there's a lot going on and I have been crying for days and days. I still am yet to have conversations with the vets. There is, you know, potential for treatment, operation, surgery, but because of the size of the tumor and the significant costs involved, there may have to be some tough decisions made. I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to get upset, but also he's right over there and I don't want him to get upset, which sounds ridiculous, but that's just the way I am. So I'm looking after him. He's got some pain medication. He's in his little bed. He's sleeping. He's fine, even though he's not fine. And I'm putting my hat on because I'm going to feel a bit more protected in that. And so please keep me and him and his brother and my mother in your thoughts and prayers over the next few weeks. It's tough. It's a tough ride. Yeah. I am really sad. I'm really sad. But I want to do the right thing by him. I don't want him to be suffering. And if that comes down to it, then I will have to make the hard decisions. When realistically, do I want to put him through, you know, more appointments and more tests and more invasion to his self, or do I want to spend a couple of weeks with him and let him go and hang out with my other cat, Alice, and my mum's cat, Momo, and then let him meet up with them again? I don't know. It's probably the way that will go. But I'm waiting till I have all of the information from all of the right people and just trying to make the most of the time I have with him at the moment. So I'm sorry to leave you on that really sad note, but I just felt that I've been quite absent for a number of reasons, and yeah, it's been a tough year. I know for a lot of people, actually. I think this year is testing a lot of people. So keep knitting, keep loving each other. I've been really fortunate that everyone at work's been so lovely, and lots of people have been giving me hugs and love, and I feel really blessed to have such a great team. So I'm going to go now because I'm going to go to my appointment. I don't want this video to cut out. I will keep knitting on my projects, and I will come back in a couple of weeks and update you with everything that's going on, both Crafty and Turtle the cat. And I'll pop a little video of him in now so that you can see he's in his little basket sleeping. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the new viewers. Thank you for anyone returning. I hope everyone is good, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, like this video, and share it with your friends. Bye for now.